This plant that we're going to propagate today is called Crassula argentea, or jade, and it's really easy to propagate, and this is another plant that we can propagate two different ways. The first is by petiole, and the second is by whole stem. So to propagate by petiole, well, by whole stem, you would just take like this whole piece off, and all of these little bumps along this stem are called nodes, and if you bury those in the soil, they will all form roots, and the plant will continue to survive. And that's how this jade was propagated. We just took a branch off of something, and we made a little hole, and we shoved it in the soil, and then it just grew into a whole new plant. So we can even leave that one there to be done. But if you don't want to change the architecture of your jade, or you want to get the most out of the material that you have, what you're going to want to do is propagate it by petiole. So the petiole is the part that connects the leaf to the stem of the plant. And on jade plants, that petiole is just, it's thick and succulent-y, and it doesn't narrow or taper. There's a lot of different kinds of petioles that plants have, but we really want to have that petiole intact whenever we're propagating this by leaf. So we're going to take this and we're just going to kind of roll it with our fingers and get that petiole off, like that little whitish piece there. And then if you're doing this, you want to take this and set it aside for about a day. Again, like the same thing with the aloe plant, you want to make sure that this has time to dry and kind of heal over before you dive right into propagating it. So a couple of days ago, I did a whole bunch of that. And so I've got this lovely tray of jade petioles. And you can see on here now, this is my fresh one. Oh boy, this is going to be hard for you guys to see. Fresh one. Hardened one. So it just looks a lot drier in general. I could probably take pictures if you want to see it closer. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing where we are just sticking them in the soil, and we got our treatment and our controls, so we want to make sure that we're doing them in the right thing. This is our flat that says with IBA, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dip and stick. And I'm going to use my fancy tool again here at the end of my finger. And just go ahead and stick these. Just poke and stick. And poke and stick. And poke and stick. Poke and stick. Jade plants are really quite popular. If you have a semi-protected area like a porch or an overhang, they can live outside. If you don't have that, then they should probably live inside in a greenhouse. In most greenhouses in California, they'll actually flower, and so if you were at the greenhouses at Bowley today, like you should be, you would see a massive, huge flowering jade plant over there that is probably in full flower and has tons of little leaves like this that you could use to propagate. Dibble and stick. This is our IBA right here, dibble and stick. And I didn't count, so I don't know if I'm halfway yet. That's okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oops, that one fell out. 2, 3. And, you know, this is going to take quite a few weeks for us to actually see results on. So this is probably going to be one of those things that we don't really measure until the end of the quarter. And then the measurement for this is going to be presence or absence of roots. And that's going to be true with all of these. We'll just lift them up and we'll count how many of them have roots out of the total number. And then we'll run a statistical analysis to see if there's any significant difference between treating them with IBA or no treatment, just letting them grow with water. So we're seeing if the hormone is actually necessary. And that's kind of important because if you find out that the hormone isn't necessary, then it's an added expense to your production line that you might not necessarily want to incur. And it takes more time. Instead of just direct sticking, I've got to dibble and then stick. So if you're doing this on the scale of thousands, that time is money. Okay, I'm going to do the other tray, and then you guys probably don't have to stare at me while I do that though. So I'm going to turn the camera off now, and I'll come back to you with another plant.